We have this Google Pixel 6 Pro received from another shop that is not powering on. Let's see how we can troubleshoot this phone step by step. I'm going to explain every step that I'm going to go through, how I'm going to test everything till I solve the fault. The battery connector, which is this one here. I want us to locate the battery connector, then perform a code testing in the battery connector. So I always see the reason why I'm doing this, I'm looking for a short to see if there is a full short in the VBAT line. So this should be the VBAT. You can see we are getting 238 ohm reading in the VBAT, which is normally okay in phones. Phones can switch on with that current. So if you don't know about the secondary power line, which is the VPH, you might say, yeah, the phone is okay, and that's not it. So I always say that performing this code testing in a VBAT line in a battery connector means that you are testing the VBAT line, not the VPH. So if you want to check and see if the VPH is okay, that's when you will have to use your DC power supply, which I have mine here. I set the current to the voltage to 4.2 volt, then set the current right there. So I have the jumper wires here, the jumper wires, clipping wires, whatever it is. So I clip this to the red probe. Yeah, anything, you can even use your screwdriver, right? So I set the black probe to the ground. I've uploaded a lot of videos working on Pixel devices, and these Pixel devices, most of them have a similar fault, which is a current leakage fault. So I'm just doing this for people because I know that even though I upload a lot of similar videos, a lot of people out there have not seen them. So I will keep dropping anyone that I'm working on. So you set the black probe to the GND, put the red probe to the battery connector here. So taking a look at my DC power supply, that's what we call a current leakage in a mobile PCB. So that's an auto current consumption there, even though it's not high. It's not high because it's not in the VBAT, just like our multimeter. The only difference is that using our DC power supply, we can see that current leakage right there. Meanwhile, our multimeter doesn't show that. But for you to be able to know that there is a current leakage somewhere in a mobile PCB, you definitely need a DC power supply, or you can just go ahead, locate the secondary section and start checking. I hope that you are understanding everything clear. So when you see this current leakage, it doesn't matter which phone that you are working on, any phone that you are working on, you have to locate the charging circuit, in which we are going to do that here. So like I said, I've worked on a lot of devices. Like this particular device is Pixel 6 Pro. I know where the charging IC is, so I will just have to dismantle the phone completely, then locate the charging IC, then you see how it be. So after locating the charging circuit, you can see we have the charging circuit here, and we have the battery connector. So the VBAT voltage gets into this IC, and here we have it should be the charging IC, and we have the VPH inductor right there. So what I do, you can see I have my multimeter. I perform a code testing now in the VPH line. So this should be the VPH. As you can see, it's beeping, so I'm not surprised about that. It's a VPH. This particular line is not supposed to beep. You can see it's beeping. So this particular line here It's not supposed to be. This one will be okay. This is the other side of the VPH. Let's say this is the first side of the VPH, and we have the second phase here, which is the main power supply line. The main power supply line here. So what we do here, if the short is not from this area, it will be from the power manager IC area. So we are going to find it. The first thing that we will use our short powder here. If you get any Pixel 6 Pro, you should start by troubleshooting it the same way that I'm doing to be able to easily find the fault. So after applying the powder, yeah, I can leave the voltage right there. The current should be okay that way. Then we inject voltage here. You can see that high current consumption there, but there is nothing heating up here. There is nothing heating up here, which means that the shorting component is not from this area. So we will have to get access to the power manager IC section. If you take a look, you'll see that we now have access to the PMU section, and we have two power manager ICs here. We have the first one, and if you come to this other side, you will see that we have the second one. So this short will be around one of these power manager ICs. Because if I go ahead, I will show you something here. When there is a short like the one that we are looking for, all the lines that are connected to the VPH are going to be short into ground, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So if you test capacitors like this one, you will see that's a short, right? So the reason why my multimeter is reading this high is because the battery is low. So I'm going to replace the battery. I'm going to go get a battery, but you can hear that beep. That's a short. One is not connected. This one is connected. So what we are going to do now, we are going to use our short powder first. So we will first spray this short powder in this section. If you don't find the short, around this section, then we will go to the other power manager section. So from my experience with these devices, if you don't set the current to be a little bit higher, if one of these smaller capacitors here are shorting, it will be very hard for it to heat up. Except that maybe you have a thermal camera, it will be very easy for you to find the shorting IC. So I'm going to inject this and inject it here, and we take a look to see which IC is heating up here. So this is what I was talking about. Actually, this ICs here, these capacitors here, one can be heating up, but yeah, you won't easily see that heating up because the heat is not that high. So we increase it to 5 volt. It's still okay. Don't worry about that. At 5 volt is still okay for the VPH line. To inject, find the short in the VPH line. I'm not saying that's something that you are supposed to do when you are troubleshooting short all the time. Like that capacitor will just heat up. Let's spray this again and take a look. We'll have to keep an eye on this capacitor, so I will inject the voltage again. Okay, you can see that's heating up, right? You can see that's heating up, and setting the voltage to 3.7, 4.2 like we did, it will take like a lot of time for this capacitor to heat up. So use the 5V, you inject one time, then you see if anything is heating up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You can see the guy here. So what we do, we use our remote station so the heat, so just set the heat to 300. You can use your air 50. You don't want to heat up stoves here, maybe start melting of the power IC solder point. So we heat it just like that, and that's the little capacitor right there. So we go quick, hold down the PCB, and we go ahead to test and see if the short is gone. If the short is gone, then we clean the PCB and test to see if we solve the problem. And also there are times that there are a lot of cases where we removed like 2 capacitors here that we are shorting. So we perform a cold testing. This was supposed to be shorting, and you can see we're getting to 21 right there. Is it too low? And that should be okay. You can see we are not getting a short here, right? So for example, if you come to this other side, we are getting a short. That's why we inject the voltage here. If you test that place where we inject that voltage, you will see that that's not a short. So let's just hope that this was the only problem when we clean the PCB. And if you are watching this, you might think that okay, this was easy to find. Yeah, I will say that it was easy for me to find because I know I've experienced a lot of these short in this particular mobile phone. But if you have no idea how to do this step by step, yeah, you might just mess up the PCB, because I mostly receive this particular fault from other technicians, and I will see that they have messed up the PCB. That's because they don't know the proper steps to take to troubleshoot this particular fault. And once they get to know, they will see that it will be easy for them to troubleshoot, most of them, because most of them you will troubleshoot and solve the same way like I did here. But there are some that you will have to go deep. So it's not all about removing this capacitor and solving the fault. So you will have to go ahead, you connect the screen first before you connect the battery. And connect the screen. Then we have the battery here. You clean it, you clip in that battery just like that, and then you connect the charger. And see if everything is good here. As you can see, everything is good here, just like that, and very smooth. Let's see if the phone is going to charge after switching on. So it's charging at 40%. The screen is also working as well, even though the screen is bad, but yeah, it's working. So well, yeah, that's how we do. If you want my courses, you can always send me a message on WhatsApp or check the pin comment to begin my courses with a huge discount right now. So it will soon be holidays and there will be a big discount this time around. Actually, you can get the courses right now with a 60% discount, and you'll be able to learn stuff like this generally on, and you will learn how you can do troubleshooting the same way on any mobile PCB that you come across. So it's not all about this one, because if you learn just from this one, like from this tutorial video, you will not be able to troubleshoot a lot of phones when you come across. So there are better ways to learn how to troubleshoot every single phone in which I teach that in my professional level course.